Hi, I'm Sonja Lindsay Kreitz. I'm the Breastfeeding Peer Counselor Coordinator and the Lactation Consultant for the Pueblo WIC office and the Pueblo Texting Program. And I want to welcome you today to Early Infant Feeding class. Today's class, what we're doing is trying to explain to you the difference between breastfeeding and formula feeding, because in the first 6 months of life, those are the foods that you can feed your baby. What we're going to do today is talk a little bit about how to formula feed and why to breastfeed and some of the benefits of that. So we'll go ahead and start. I wanted to let you know that the class today is 4 sections, and so you'll be looking for emojis in each section. And each section, once the emoji, you see it, you'll want to write it down, because at the end of class we're going to have you send those 4 emojis so that you can get credit for the class, and then your benefits can be loaded onto your WIC card. I do want to explain what the breastfeeding texting program is, and it includes these fine ladies. These are my peer counselors, and what a peer counselor is a mom who has breastfed before, had some special training to help support new moms in how they breastfeed and troubleshoot when things happen. So I would like all of you to opt into the texting program now, and that's going to be, you're going to text 839-863 and put in the word BF Mom. Once you do that, it'll ask you a few questions, and once you answer those, the last one will be your name. Once you put your name in, you're fully enrolled. And it is a free service if you have unlimited texting, so there are no charges for that program. The other thing to let you know is, even if you're not sure how you're going to feed your baby, or maybe you plan on formula feeding, a lot of things change in life, so we do encourage you to get into the program. And if you decide not to breastfeed, you can always reply STOP, and it'll take you directly out of the program. But there's a lot of great information throughout your pregnancy that you'll get, so we'd like you to do that. So one of the biggest reasons moms quit breastfeeding is they have a perception, or they feel they don't have enough breast milk. So I want to talk a little bit about what it means to produce breast milk. So it starts in your pregnancy, and you probably all remember some soreness to your nipples and breasts in the early part, or maybe you're just there now. That is your body being told that you're growing a baby and you will be needing to feed the baby once the baby's born. And so that happens all throughout the pregnancy, is the breasts are going to maybe change size, maybe go from a B to a full B, or maybe you went from a B to a double D. Those are all things that happen during the pregnancy. And also the areola, the dark part of the breast, that is going to either get darker and or bigger. And those are the 2 changes we look for in pregnancy to know that your body's doing the work to make milk when your baby's born. So again, size change as well as the darkening or enlargement of the areola. So I just like everybody to know, if you're having those things happen, then there's no concerns. Some moms don't notice them, so we want to make sure that you get with one of the peer counselors, let them know you haven't noticed changes, and that way we can help guide you through if there is a risk of having milk production issue or not. So want to let you know that there's not a whole lot you can do now, but when your baby's born and the placenta is delivered, that's actually when a signal gets sent to the brain to say we've delivered the baby, and now we're going to begin feeding that baby through the breast. So you grew a baby in your belly and did a great job. Now the baby's here, now you're going to feed the baby through the breast. And that first milk is called colostrum, and it's a very small amount, but it's very powerful. But that's all your baby needs in the beginning. And then your milk begins to transition through the next day 1, 2, 3 into mature milk. And it's really important to make sure that you understand that you have milk when your baby is born. It's just called colostrum. And Lori's going to talk about that later today. So I want to make sure that you understand what you need to know in pregnancy for producing milk and how that all goes. And some moms leak, some moms don't. I want to let you know that doesn't have anything to do with milk production. It just has to do with how tight your breast is as far as the sphincter holes. So some moms will leak and some moms won't. So that is not an indicator of milk production. So as your body is preparing to feed the baby and grow the baby, please ask questions if you have any. Our peer counselors answer till 10 p.m. every night of the year, so we're on all the time. And one thing I want to let everybody know is today we're here to learn about breastfeeding and formula feeding, the kind of the why to breastfeed, but how to formula feed. But if you're going to plan to breastfeed, we do encourage you to continue with getting into our breastfeeding class, talking to your WIC educators about it, talking to your physician and your family about your desire to breastfeed, so that everybody's on the same page. And we want you to know it's not all or nothing. Sometimes people have medical reasons they can't fully breastfeed, but we want you to know that you can do both. Although to exclusively breastfeed, it takes roughly 6 to 8 weeks to build a milk supply, and that's why it's so important to start out breastfeeding and build your supply. And we'll learn more about that in the breastfeeding class. But also, some moms choose not to breastfeed, and WIC is not here to push breastfeeding on you. We just need to make sure you're informed so that you can make the decision that fits you best. So if you have questions, we really want you to be talking to your WIC educators, your peer counselors. You can reach me through the texting program as well. And good luck on your journey of becoming a new mom. Thank you.
Hi everyone, my name is Taylor and I'm one of the dietitians at the Pueblo WIC office, and today I'm going to be guiding you through the intro and history of how to feed your baby. There are two ways that you can feed your baby, through human milk or through formula feeding. We are not here to tell you which way to decide. We are here to give you information so you can make an informed choice, because an informed decision is the best decision. If you have decided how you'd like to feed your baby, text us a bottle for formula or the breastfeeding emoji for breastfeeding. Remember this as your first emoji to text. Okay. So do you know if you were breastfed? And has anybody in your family ever been breastfed? We actually all come from breastfeeding families, because before there was formula, breastfeeding was the only way to feed your baby. And so what have you been exposed to in public? Have you guys ever seen a mom breastfeeding her baby at the mall or a restaurant, or bottle feeding her baby at a restaurant or the mall? What is normal? Both are normal. Actually, in Pueblo, 78% of moms start breastfeeding, but then by 6 weeks, half of the moms actually end up formula feeding. And this could be due to a variety of reasons. Could be a lack of support. Okay. And how do we make a decision? We get a lot of information from our friends, our family, our doctors. So what all goes into the decision? Here at WIC, we have many staff that are trained in different levels of breastfeeding, and we are here to help you with breastfeeding no matter what it is. Alright, so some history. Breastfeeding has been around since the beginning of time, since humans were made, so it's kind of crazy how long it's been around. When babies weren't able to be breastfed, we actually had what we called wet nurses, which were other moms who would breastfeed the infant. And this was a well-organized profession with contracts, with laws. Today, in undeveloped countries, breastfeeding is still the primary way that moms feed their babies. And And this slide just shows you some pictures of history of breastfeeding. There's some interesting ones here, so I'll take a minute to let you look at this. Pretty cool. And this slide shows some pictures of celebrities who have breastfed and who are kind of promoting it. We can see that Chrissy Teigen has breastfed, Jesse James Decker, Kourtney Kardashian, so many. Okay, so now we're going to get into some of the history of formula. The first formula was created in the mid-1800s for abandoned or adopted babies, and they used cow's milk, sheep milk, goat's milk. In the 1920s and the 1950s, in that kind of time period, formula was very expensive, and evaporated milk or very diluted formula was given to infants, and this caused numerous deaths, which is pretty scary. And then I also want to point out the picture in the bottom right corner. This bottle is actually like a bottle that we see now that we feed goats or baby animals with, so that's kind of interesting to see that she's using that bottle to feed her baby. Alright, so history allows us a choice in which way we want to feed our babies. Through the past experiences of other women, we're able to choose for ourselves what the way we want to feed our babies. And so we also want to mention to you that formula companies are run by pharmaceutical companies, and they have tons of money. And this gives them money to market formula in new and different ways every single year, even though it may be there might not even be a difference in the formula. They're just making the package look different to get you to buy it more often. So kind of be aware of that. And also the formula names are very confusing. When you go shopping for formula, they don't really tell you exactly what they mean. They're just very confusing. So if you have any questions on what formula you think is appropriate for your baby, definitely contact your healthcare provider, and WIC can also help you with the choosing of formula if that is the way you would like to feed your baby. And then breast milk hasn't changed its name since the beginning of time, so that's kind of awesome that no matter where you are in the world, or if you go back in time, you would still be able to find breast milk. So pretty cool. And then this is just a reminder for credit. Remember after this section to text the emoji with the bottle or the nursing emoji to get your credit for this section. If you have any questions about this section, definitely give us a call, and we will be in touch with you after you complete all the videos. Thank you.